Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me today for my quick tip Thursday at Juanette's Crafting Corner. I would like to thank these people for their lovely comments. Uh, what was I thinking? Lucy lives in Canada. Leah is Rainbow Rising. There were some people that told me that they were interested in the Tim Holtz fat quarters, so I appreciate that. I've written that down. Terry at Renkin Studios said that she uses clear gesso to strengthen fragile papers. This gal, Judy, wanted to know where I keep my lace. I did not film that, but I do have it in containers, Judy. This video was inspired by Corinne at To Be Loved Treasures by Corinne. She had commented on my last video, so thank you, Corinne. And then Natalie, when she was looking at the London pictures of my daughter and granddaughter and me, she said there was an incredible family resemblance. And yes, I noticed that as I look at pictures. And then thank you, Rachel from Roxy Creations, for your comment. So let's get started. So this is episode number 29, and it is to go along with my Journal of Stitchery, Roxy Creations. So I have finished at least stitching my title page. Now, I think I did tell you I am going to have some wildflowers stitched through here with colors and what have you, but at least that came or is completed as far as the stitchery itself. I will be trimming here to the size of the book. So that's done. And then I worked some more on my nest. What I did is this was a piece of fabric from Kathy Holden. It's where it's got all of these, looks like calling cards with blank spots. And so I wrote in here nest. So that's my nest. I ended up adding more like of the felting material back behind the eggs. I added a little bit of lace here and here, a little bit there. And again, this is still a work in progress. This is not completely done because once I put it in the book, I may realize I need some more things down the sides. And I did show you that. So that's complete. So the next prompt was spring blooms or spring flowers. And I got this idea from, oh, and I'm sorry, I've got to look real quick because I want to make sure that I have her channel name correct. Yes, this was inspired by Corinne, and her YouTube channel is To Be Loved Treasures by Corinne, and I will link her channel in the description box. She was working on her stitchery, and I saw an image as she was doing some thread painting, and I thought to myself, that looks like a napkin I have. So I messaged her in the comment box of her channel and said, how did you do that napkin on fabric? And so she answered me back. And then the video that I'm going to link in the description box shows how she did it. But so what I've done is I've taken some of my fabric from my friend Carol Powers that she gave me. You saw me mark off where the edging is. for the book page. And Corinne then took a napkin. Now I have pulled out from my stash 3 napkins that kind of go with spring blooms. Now I'm not sure if I like that because of all that white there, but it would go on that page. And then there was this one, which I do like because I'm looking to do a lot of thread painting is why I'm kind of looking at these images. But again, there's white back there and I'm not sure I want that, but I do have this one that I do like. And I could put it there. Oh, well, I would have to then stitch something over that. But I do like this one. So I think I'm going to use this. So what Corinne did is she separated the piles. And so I'm going to try to do that. I think if you wet it or, oh, the Scotch tape thing, that was the deal. So if you take a piece of Scotch tape, and what I'm going to do is cut this edge off first because it's a different pattern. So just going to cut that off. And then she separated the piles. Yeah. Okay. And if you take a piece of Scotch tape and then just press it on the back and kind of pull it, it will separate that pile. And let's see if this is a 2 pile or a 3 pile. It looks almost like a 3 pile because it looks kind of thick. Yeah, it's 3. So then let me pull this other one off. Yeah, isn't that a pretty napkin? And I thought this one would be beautiful for thread painting. I'm going to have to turn down my ceiling fan because it's making the napkin blow every which way. So what Corinne did, and this was so brilliant. You know what? It seems like it goes this way. And I will just either stamp something what do I want to do here? I want it to not be a perfect edge. Let me grab a water pen, and hopefully that doesn't have anything written on it. It's probably water. If I do get a little bit on my fabric, it will probably be okay. So I'm going to lay it in here. So I do want this to come this way. I think I need a little bit more water here. And all you have to do is take your pen, your water pen, and just kind of wet that. And it should help it tear. And it will probably, well, actually, that won't go away because it's through heat that makes it go away, not water. I know there's ones with water. Okay, we're going to come up here this way and around this way. I hope this will look okay. And then I will stamp some let's see if I could do this somehow to where, oh, I got to turn that off more. Sorry, guys. It's just it's so hot here in Arizona that you have to have fans on. Let's see, how do I want that to go? If that goes like that, let's see, like that. I could bring that down like that. I'm going to come in here. If it goes over a little bit, that's going to be okay. Let's just bring it down like this. Because I will just do a little bit of extra stitching around it. Come up through here. You know what I'm going to have to do is come in here because I don't want that edge to be so straight. I could always put something over it like a label or what have you, but okay, that's going to go like that. It's still going to end up having come up like this. It's still going to end up having that name there, but I will just stamp something, like I said, over it. Okay, we're going to come in like that. I could put spring blooms down here. And we're going to just come across here. Yeah, it is kind of making my fabric wet here, but that's going to be okay. Okay, I may have to stitch that down. I think that's going to be okay. To me, that looks like spring blooms. And I think once I thread paint it, it will be just fine. Okay, so then the next thing that Corinne did is she applied some just plain old glue stick to her fabric. And so what I'm going to do is, because this can be an erasable or, you know, removable ink, I'm just going to trace here where this is going to go. And then that way I will only put the glue where the napkin is. I tell you, Corinne, this was brilliant. I had never seen this before. And so it was so cool. Like I said, when I saw that, you know, you thread painting that image of those birds, I thought, I have that napkin. I know I do. Okay, there. So then let me put the lid back on this. And she just uses the glue stick that she can get in Australia. And hers is blue, and she says she likes it because she can see where it goes. And you guys know when I did my review of glue sticks, I also liked the one where you could see where it goes. And then even though this is going to look purple right now, when it dries, it's going to be clear. And then once you thread paint, you won't see much of the napkin. Now remember, this piece is not going to get wet. So it's okay that it's paper, because it's not going to get wet and a lot of it will be held down with thread. Oops. I'm going to put quite a bit. Oh, and the other thing Corinne said is that even though you used a glue stick, that a needle went through it quite easily. So we shall see. I'm very excited about this. I kept thinking, what am I going to do for my spring blooms? Okay, so now I've got more than enough of my glue stick down, and I'm going to stand up here and kind of hover over it. Yeah, right there. And then spread it out. And I'm going to take, I move things around in my craft room, and I have a Tim Holtz thing that spreads things around like a bone folder, but I don't see it. See, that's the problem. Don't move things around. Oh, here it is. Don't move things around in your craft room. You can't find them then. There is a few wrinkles here, but I still think it's going to be okay. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? And when that dark purple disappears, you're going to be able to see the background. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I will be back with you. I will do a little bit of thread painting. Like I said, I will put probably spring blooms down here. Ooh, should I try to add some more, like up in there? I don't know. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool looking. Let's see here. I'm just going to pull this here. Is it too much or too symmetrical? I'm going to hold off. I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to do some thread painting. I will save these little bits and pieces just in case I want to add more a little bit later. But yeah, let's just see how it goes. Okay, would you guys just look at this now that that glue has dried? You can hardly see the difference between the napkin and the fabric. And now I'm going to take my iron and erase the line that I drew. And I'm going to be very careful because I don't know how this iron will react to the napkin. So I'm just going to kind of go around the edge here. I just cannot believe how you can barely see that. There's a little bit underneath there. I don't think it's hurting the napkin at all. It doesn't feel like it is. There's a little bit of the coloring up there. But isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, thank you, Corinne. So now that I've got most of that off, I'm going to just unplug this iron. Hang on one second. And I'm going to show you some of the colors that I have started picking out for the thread painting. So I have these threads that are from Australia, and I bought these in a shop in Mesa. It's called, I think, the Antique Attic, or oh gosh, I'm going to have to put that in the description box or in the little place underneath as I go to edit this video. But this is stranded silk, and I think those colors look beautiful. But I was looking through my stash, and I had bought some threads from this place, Storyteller Stitchery. This gal is actually in Queen Creek, Arizona, which is maybe an hour from me. I was at a thread, expose or something like that, but I bought them there and I hadn't used them yet. And so what they do is they come on like this little pin, and I think it's 5 different threads. So here's 4, and then I have some more somewhere else. But so go check this person out, and they're lovely threads, and you get a lot more than these. These threads were, I think, $8 for one thing, and this was one thing here. It was $8, and here you get 5 different of these, and you can tell there's a lot more thread. So I think this is a better deal. So go over to Storyteller Stitchery. The other colors that I've pulled out for the greens are these. And again, when I had gone to this shop one day, I think I told you it was with my sister, Sherry. And I was just putting threads in my basket, putting threads in my basket. And then we always, when we go shopping together, I think we said something like, oh, who won this time? Meaning who spent the most money? And I really thought she had, because it looked like she had more in her basket, but I had more of these individual threads, which, like I said, were quite expensive. And I walked out of there spending a lot more than she did. But I also have just some DMC, which is a dark green. And so I think that will work. I'm debating on stamping something. Like I said, I thought I might stamp down here in this corner. So I do have these clickable word stamps, and I do have this spring blooms, enough for that. And I was just kind of testing some different colors, archival inks, some browns. So that's I'm still debating on that. But I did want to show you, I did go ahead and start doing a little bit of thread painting here. And let's see, I think for that color, I did use this color, gumnut yarns. And so I put some stitches there and I put a few down here, but I'm going to continue with stitching and then I'll be back with you guys. So I thought I would just stop for the night and show you this part of the thread painting. Now, as I look at it, I wish I had started with just one of these bigger ones and only done one of those. But I started with this small one. And literally, this has taken me hours and hours to complete. And I haven't even started on the greenery. I've also done this. Thread painting takes a really long time. But the main point of this video was to show you Corinne's technique for applying a napkin to fabric, which is absolutely brilliant. I hope that you guys try this at some point. And I'm going to end this video here. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you guys again soon. Thanks, and bye-bye.